We recently went to Auckland Cranes Depot in Manukau to take a look at their Dmag crane. The people at Auckland Cranes are pretty passionate about what they do, and they even have crane models in the office. Bushy, our host, has been with the company for 40 years, and even his childhood crane is on show. So let's have a look at this enormous Dmag. So that's a Dmag, Bushy.
Yeah, a Dmag AC350.
The size of it. How high up does that boom go?
It goes to 50 something metres.
Just a bit about Dmag. Dmag started in Germany in the early 20th century and was the abbreviated name of a German engineering company that started it. In 1908, they designed what was then the largest floating crane that went on to be used in the building of RMS Olympic and the famous RMS Titanic. One interesting aspect of cranes such as this one is their ability to crab sideways. Sometimes they arrive on a site with limited access, and this ability can be useful in getting them into position so they can do what they do. We'll talk to one of the drivers about this aspect shortly, but I just think this is absolutely amazing. All the wheels turn except the fourth axle, which they lift so it doesn't scuff, and then they can just put themselves into position ready to go to work. Absolutely amazing. The next stage of the process is to put these ground supports under each of the four stabilisers so the crane can be lifted and balanced so it's completely level. The stabilisers have been placed on the crane at the manufacturing process and are placed to ensure that the weight of the crane is distributed evenly. These stabilisers also need to take the full weight of whatever the crane's lifting, and in this case that's 350 tonne. There's the crane driver who's responsible for the crane, then there are the dogmen and riggers who are responsible for the load the crane's going to lift. So the extra men assisting here are the dogmen. Once the pads have been placed, the crane driver will power down the stabiliser feet, which will lift the wheels off the ground. Once he's happy the crane's level, he'll climb up into the cab to get ready to lift the jib to get ready for the lift. How many levers does it require to do what he's doing? Just one?
Just two. But you change the controls. You change them for different functions.
Okay, yeah. So one button does all sort of.
Sort of, one, yeah. Right. So there are four positions.
Right.
Levers.
So he's got one hand on the left, one hand on the right.
Yeah, so one's slowing.
Yes.
One's luffing the boom back, and,
yes.
And he's bringing the hook down. So he's doing three functions at once.
And his brain's got to think like that.
Yeah, it just comes naturally.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you were saying at the moment it can lift 10 tonne.
No, 20 tonne at the moment.
26.
26, there you go.
26 tonne?
Yeah.
Just with one strand?
Yeah, with once around the hook, with
right.
What we call two parts. Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't deal with these cranes very much.
No.
So I generally stick with the precast concrete, so some of my facts aren't correct on this crane.
Fair enough.
And how much do you stick on the back of it, Dan?
142.
So
122 tonne.
142 tonne goes on the back of the crane.
And it just, oh, I see where those holes are, so that they just bolt them in here.
Yeah. Oh,
Places them up on those red lugs.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, right.
so that stacks up quite high, about 5 metres high, doesn't it?
Oh, God.
And then the crane swings around and a big set of hydraulic rams push the counterweight up onto the back of the crane.
Wow. So in the normal circumstances, if he's working where he can't see anybody, he's
Yep.
got a radio in his ear.
Yes, yep. So that's quite common.
Wow.
A lot of their work is blind.
Totally relying on somebody else's eyes.
So all the cream sections you see over there,
Yep.
they're all the additional pieces you can put on top of this crane.
So it goes higher still.
Yeah. So this has 54 metres, and what can you put on, Harry? Another 72 metres.
72 metres. Wow.
And then it has other attachments to, because it's a bit like your fishing rod,
Yes.
a crane boom where they bend.
Oh, do
So you can put an attachment on the rear of it to stiffen the boom up to take that bend out of it.
they? Wow. It's amazing that all that steel can bend.
Yep. Well, it's because it's a multi-stage boom, you get a little bit at each. See the square holes in the boom?
Yeah.
It has a single hydraulic ram inside the boom, and then so it pushes one section out, and then there are pins that go out into those square holes
Oh,
and locks it there, and then it disconnects the ram and then sucks the ram back in and then grabs the next section and then pushes that one out. So there's only one ram that does all that work inside the boom. Now the computer's disconnecting the ram at the bottom,
okay.
and he'll squirt the ram right back out again, and it'll lock onto the base of the next section.
How do you inspect that?
They can climb in there.
Really?
Yeah. Find the youngest, skinniest character, and he comes out like a greased sausage, but
Wow. That's unbelievable.
yeah.
Well, here I am in the cafe, and it's just like going back to 1950. The chairs of the time, Formica I think it's all called, and the black and white floors. There's Elvis Presley over there, there's a jukebox over there, there's memorabilia behind me, that beautiful montage of cars behind me. There's even an old Dodgem. Remember the Dodgems that they used to show? Boom, boom, boom. Wonderful. And I'm having a big breakfast. It's bacon and eggs. And so if you come here with your group to have a look at the museum, you can sit down and have a wonderful meal before you even start. So look at that. Bacon and eggs, sausages, tomatoes, toast, mushrooms, the whole 9 yards. And a cup of tea to wash it all down. So there you go. When you come here, come and have a meal first and then enjoy yourself in the museum. Christmas isn't all that far away, and so if you're looking for a present for the truck driver or somebody interested in transport in your life, then my Talking Trucks book might be just the thing. So if you'd like a copy, just email me, billhohepper@extra.co.nz, and I'll take your details and I'll get a copy in the post to you. Now this book covers trucks basically heading back from about 1972 to the time they started making vehicles. So a good historical book, and tells you all about the New Zealand transport industry up until about 1972. So for a Christmas present, perfect. Email me, billhohepper@extra.co.nz. So to prepare for a lift, you have to take all this time into consideration?
Yes. Yep.
So you've got an average of 15 minutes, something like that, before even looking at putting
This could be up to 2 hours before
Really?
we,
actually lift
by
it.
the time we travel to site, and then an hour and a half to load the counterweights onto the crane before you ready to lift.
Yep.
Yeah.
See the little squares, folks. And the little, is that a cable?
Yeah, which is telling the computer the boom lengths,
Oh, okay.
and also it's has wind detection gear. Also all this other, the extra auxiliary gear that goes on top of it. All that gets monitored through that cable.
So it's disconnected and it's off on its way to get the last one and bring it back
so
out again.
it's sucking the ram back in now. Extending it back out, sorry. Yeah.
And is the crane called Popeye? Do I see Popeye
Yeah, they've all got,
little names?
yeah, they all have their little cartoon characters, and so do the operators have their characters too.
Oh.
Yeah.
So somebody was saying they're Mercedes engines in the crane and the truck.
Yeah. So this is a 100-tonner coming back, one of those trucks that came in before.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
100-tonner. Sort of tell by the size of the jib, really.
Yeah, there's a big difference, isn't
Yeah,
there?
absolutely. There you go. He's got the last one, bringing it down. And so is that a wire rope, or is it like a power line?
No, it's like a power cable, multi-core cable.
Right.
So it's doing a lot of different functions.
And that's the little control box sitting beside it, I suppose.
Yeah.
And the rollers are some sort of plastic?
Yeah, they're nylon. Yeah.
Nylon, yeah.
I couldn't tell you exactly what they're made of.
No, that's just smooth running of the wire.
Yeah. And it's a weight saving as well.
Right. Do you charge by the hour or the minute or the day or the...
It varies, usually by the hour or the day. Yeah. So I do all contract work, so mine's by the day or the week, sort of thing.
Right. And so that's paying for the crane and an operator, or can they
Yes.
supply their own operator?
No, crane and operator. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so you can lift anything from a swimming pool into somebody's backyard?
We do a lot of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
A lot of swimming pools. Yeah. With these type of cranes here. So no outriggers or anything. They're what's called a pick and carry crane. So they, yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was, back in my day, there was something like this on the wharf.
Yes.
A little crane on it, very similar.
The little Coles cranes on the wharf. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the day when you had to sort of call in and find a tally man to check off what you've got, and then you had to find a forklift driver, which was even harder.
Yep.
Maybe you had to bribe him with a box of beer or something. You know. Do you know how much that weighs on the ground?
In the region of 72 tonne. So it's between 12 and 13 tonne an axle, whereas a normal truck going down the road's about 8.5 tonne per axle.
Where do they put those?
They go on the back of the crane.
Oh, right up.
So normally these cranes have a forklift.
Yep.
And they have big steel pads that they stick out.
Right. So they're rounds of concrete.
Yeah. No, these are plastic, these things.
Oh really? They look like
So
concrete.
This is 130 coming home.
Got that down pat, haven't you?
Yeah, they're pretty slick, these guys. two of them are waiting for the word to go out to the work all night on the port. And take the big crane out. We haven't heard yet.
I hear the port's having a bit of trouble with their cranes.
They sure are.
Tell me what's it like being on the wrong side? You're 3 metres on the wrong side.
I think it's actually better.
Really?
Yeah, because you can judge your distances off the side of the road, off parked cars, barriers, etc.
So
a little bit easier.
Right there.
Than if I imagine if we're on the other side of the crane. Yeah, that'd.
You have to judge it.
Yeah, you would have to judge it a lot more.
Yeah, fair enough. So, would you pass much? I guess if traffic jam.
Stationary.
Yeah.
Stationary things you'd pass, but that's about it.
Okay. Right. Certainly, sort of like sitting here, sitting across the other side.
Yeah, it is a bit of a different feeling than a standard car.
Sure. And having that big hook stuck out in front of you, is that sort of...
it's not too bad.
When you first got it, you just sort of think, oh.
Yeah, a little bit. The first crane I drove was a Brenner.
Oh, okay.
So sort of used to things sticking out the front. It was a little bit...
That's one enormous hook. And
it is.
The rest of it, it's just...
It is.
But after a while, you just know it's there, you just get on with it.
Yeah, the first 6-axle crane I drove felt very daunting. It just seemed so much longer and wider than anything else.
So if you're coming up behind the bus, you'd have to be careful with it.
Oh, yeah. You learn to stop.
I know some of the Kenworths we used to film, it's got this enormous bonnet, and I stood in front of a bonnet and I walked back, I think it was 10 metres before the driver could see me.
Are you blind spot? Yeah. That's not nearly as bad with these, which is fortunate. The most of the blind spots are either down the side of your windows, fogged, or at the back.
These tyres are huge. Do you know what one costs?
More than I earn a week. I've heard various rumours of 6,000, but that was quite some time ago. I'm sure they're
gone up a bit since, like everything else.
You tend to be very careful of what you drive over or around or past. Try not to scuff them on too much.
So when you crab, all the wheels except the number 4, they all turn. And how can you almost go sideways?
Essentially is only just over the length of the crane to park in, and you have to jiggle backwards and forwards. I once did a keel for an America's Cup boat in Bowden's in Mount Wellington, and you had to drive in the building and then zigzag your way across to get into position behind the milling machine. So stuff like that.
So it was just a plain drive, it was practically impossible to do that.
Oh no, it was inside the building. So
limited room.
Limited room. It makes them a lot more manoeuvrable than the first big cranes used to be.
So thanks very much. We'll see you again soon. Well, there you go, folks. This is a Dmag crane. If you're looking for a crane, there's the website to go to. Talk to Mike Morris, and we'll see you around. Well, I've come into the museum now, and just looking around, there's all sorts of cars from the 50s and 60s, 30s, there's a couple of 20s in here even, and it's a magnificent collection. So there's lots and lots of stuff in this museum for you to look at, lots and lots of stuff that's going to take you right back to the day, and if you're new, well, There's lots of stuff here about New Zealand history. So if you come here, you're coming to Railside Place, which is off Rifle Range Road in Hamilton. Certainly worth a look if you belong to a car club or some sort of a club and you want a place to go. This is the place to come, and you can start off with a meal in the cafe. Come and have a look, enjoy yourselves. I absolutely recommend it. Would you like to come and catch a pig with me tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent. And I'm sitting with Bob Harrison. Bob, welcome to our little show.
You're right.
And Bob used to work for Sarjants Transport, which was in Netherton, and Gilbert Sargent was the boss back in the day. And when you turned up there, Bob, I see you've got a lovely old Diamond T Arctic.
Yeah,
to drive.
1955 it was, yeah.
Because when you drove through Netherton at the time, there wasn't a great deal there. I think there was a 4 Square store or something, or might have been a self-help.
Yeah, just down the road from the depot, yeah, there was the 4 Square store at the hall.
And a couple of houses, and that's
couple of houses and school, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and the dairy factory was right by across the road from the depot, yeah.
Was that still working then?
It was then, yeah. It was a cheese factory, yeah.
Right, because I know just down the road at Tura, they had a pretty decent factory going.
That's right, yeah, we used to cart out of there, yeah.
Oh, okay. So when you turned up, he says, right, there's the Diamond T Arctic, you're on there. So tell me about the Diamond T, what did that actually do? It's just general freight?
Yep.
Oh, so you're up to where to get the freight?
Auckland, that was up to Auckland every day.
Oh, okay. And going up the Devi, did you have a load going through the Devi?
Yeah, we usually have butter or...
Oh, okay, from the dairy factories.
Yeah, and then Carapae opened up. We had milk powder to cart, yeah.
So how fast up the hills did that Diamond T go?
Oh, he didn't do too bad.
Oh, okay. So tell me about the day you went off the Diamond T and he says, right, we've got another job for you.
We got this Comet and put that tank on, a big tank, 1,800 gallons, big Arctic, yeah.
So when you got to that Comet after the Diamond T, what did you think?
Oh, you right.
Okay, oh, is it going up or going down?
Yeah, well, I thought, yeah. But it turned out it's a good little machine, little machine. But, oh.
So you've gone from American to British?
British, yep.
Yeah.
1 or 2 differences. The other one, braking was the thing. Oh, bloody hopeless bloody brakes.
So you had to line yourself up before you think, well, if I start now, I'll stop down there.
Take a rope with you, throw it around a tree or something like that. Stop the bloody thing. I got caught out in a fire with it on one trip on the deviation. The ministry, in their wisdom, were burning her off the rubbish up by the bloody flower shop. Down over the side of the bank, down over the bank, and it got away on them. I came over the top, saw the smoke, knew they were there, thought it's only a bit of a fire. We were worried about it. Yeah. When I come round the corner to it, it's going right across the bloody road, isn't it? Setting fire to the grass on the right-hand side of the road.
And there you are with 1,800 gallons of petrol.
And I tried to stop the bloody thing, and no bloody way would it stop. And I finished, I had to drive through the fire, but it, went through. It was a bit scary.
Yeah, I'll say.
Got out, came out onto the Thames Road, and stopped at the top of the hill, roll of smoke. Took me about 20 minutes to roll the smoke. I was shaking it bloody much.
Yeah, I bet you were.
So anyway, yeah.
So the only real hill that really you had to worry about was going up and down the deviation. Most of the little hills sort of coming into the flats of the Hauraki Plains. And once you were here,
it's flat going all the time.
All the time. Yeah,
good as gold. Yeah, no.
So was that hot going up?
No,
it's not
it
too
was
bad.
good. Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, so it went good, that one. Yeah.
Comet 90.
Comet 90, that's all, yeah.
And 19, what year was it? A 1951 or 2 or 3?
Yeah, it must be, I suppose, because they had it there when... Yeah, we had it there when I went there.
1953, 90 horsepower.
90
In
horsepower.
our recent programs, folks, you might remember some of the American trucks. They're 150 horsepower in the 1940s and 50s, and this man struggling along with a British Leyland 90 horsepower tow, 1,800 litres or 1,800 gallons of fuel.
Yeah.
So from there you went to the next one, which is the LAD, but he had a lot of box, what I call the box or the mouth organ Leylands, which is the predecessor, the model
the
before
square
that.
cab ones.
Yeah, and they did all sorts of jobs.
Yep, I had one of those on the freight after the Diamond T.
Oh, okay. Is that the one with the little box on the back? Had a little, like Graham Coulter's old truck, he had a little,
used to
tray
carry
on the back.
4 drums of whatever in there, you know, all sorts of things.
Tell me about the LAD cab, and I see you've got an Arctic and a trailer behind this. And so your first day on the job, now you've got a new truck, you're towing a trailer as well as an Arctic. What was that like to back up if you had to?
It was a dog. It was a dog. It was hopeless.
Yeah. So good going forwards, and hope you didn't have to go backwards too many.
Drawbar was too short.
Yep.
It was only about a metre. The Arctic was too long for the drawbar. By the time you turned the Arctic, the trailer's gone. You know? It was hopeless.
And the LAD cab truck, and Graham Poulter, who we spoke with a couple of years ago now, but he drove something very similar. Yeah, with a little tray on the back. But he was saying, you know, one of the things that made his truck special was the train horn that he pinched from somewhere.
Oh, yes, he did too. Yeah, I know. He thieved that off the buddy shunt.
Yeah. I never drove one of those.
Yeah.
But I've sat in a few during we've done our programs, and being a long bugger, you sort of see the top of the windscreen's here, and then there's a windscreen wiper, and so he's got to actually lean forward just a fraction, just to see under. You never had that problem?
No, I never had that problem with it. You
and some of those Leylands also, not particularly that one, but on the right-hand side between you and the door, there's the brake.
Oh, that was the old square cab. Yeah. The tin cab ones,
So as soon as you put it on, then you've got to get out of the bloody thing.
Oh, who put the bloody handbrake there? Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Arse out of the bloody thing, yeah.
That's right.
Hey.
Anyway, Bob, a great trip down memory lane, and Sarjants have done you well, and you've worked for them your whole career.
Yeah, 33 years. Yeah.
Oh, good on you. So there you go, folks. There's some, right from the horse's mouth, as it were, working for Sarjants back in the day.
I like this horse bit.
Good on you, mate.
He called many things.
Yeah, well, we better have a bit of a coughing session.
Yeah, that was good.
Just to conclude this story, Sarjants went on to join Brennan's Transport of Paeroa and Heaton's Transport of Tauranga to form Provincial Transport, who in later years had their yard at Kopu, near Thames.